Hello guys. As you noticed, I've been doing a lot of catch up today. This one is coming off a little after the rhythm, but it kind of deserves it a little bit because it's kind of a special one. It's the FNAF Five Nights at Freddy movies we're talking about today. This was an interesting movie, and I know I say that a lot, but a lot of movies are interesting. But here's a little bit about it. It came out, of course, this year. It's rated PG-13. It's an hour 49 long. And it's 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb with about 35,000 ish user votes. It has 33% on Metacritic with about 106 critics. It's directed by Emma Tammy, who also did. What else did she do? The Wind, and it stars let's see, Josh Hutcherson, who was in Bitch the Therapy and a bunch of stuff. More so as a younger kid, but and then Piper Rubio, who was in what else? Holly and Ivy, and then on Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 28% by critics with 156 critics and 89% by audiences with 1,000-ish audience people. Oh, weird. It doesn't have any consensuses yet because it's very new. That's very interesting. I thought it would, but yeah, why doesn't it? That's weird. It has like a bunch of reviews. There should be at least a critics one. Hold on. Let me do something else here. Do a little double check in. Okay, so it really isn't. That is weird. That there isn't any consensus stuff. Well, that kind of sucks. I mean, there's enough for it. I don't know why there isn't, but it is what it is. So my thoughts on the movie. So here's the thing. I'm aware of Friday Nights at Freddy's. I've watched, playthroughs of stuff on YouTubers and whatever. I know of it, but in terms of the lore and that, it's very, very rudimentary on what I know. But Corey, my wife, she loves FNAF and she was super hyped to this. Now this movie's good. I think it's a good movie. It isn't perfect though. And there's a couple things. Um, and the synopsis, I mean, pretty much for anyone who doesn't know the premise, pretty much there's this guy who needs a job and he takes a security position at this mysterious abandoned child's restaurant, a restaurant for children, aka like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. And shenanigans happen. There's a lot of stuff going on with mystery and a little. I will say this. Okay, here's the trick with adapting something like this is that I think a movie like this should have been made sooner because I think the whole FNAF thing has gone through so many evolutions and additions. Sorry. Um, in additions that I think it just struggled. I think the biggest thing is like it had to balance between appealing to like grown ups who grew up with it and kids that got into it over time because it kind of started appealing to kids over time, which kind of I think makes doing a movie like this tough because what audience do you shoot for? And they try to do both, and they try to start everything from the ground up. This isn't one of those movies that they make with you with the idea that you already know everything. It's kind of done in a way for people who don't know jack shit, kind of. And it does an okay job, but it's not a bad job. But I think they did the best they could with it. But I just think that there's just too much. Um, And yeah, I think in terms of, I think most people would poke at the script as needing a touch up on some things. And I feel like a lot of people, like people who are critical of this film, a lot of them do feel like that it should have been probably just written with the idea that you already know what's going on as opposed to trying to win people over, because this franchise has been around for 10 years. So if you're not a fan by now, then you're probably never going to be a fan. But eh, I don't think it's terrible. It could have been a little bit better in that area, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone says. Now the good stuff. I like the acting in this. The acting is really good, and I like that the movie makes an effort for you to kind of. I feel like it's very easy to connect with the main characters, especially Josh Hutchinson's character, because he's always been such a good, genuine actor. Even when he was a kid, he always came across as so genuine, and this is no different. Um, and and yeah, the effects. The best thing about this movie are the effects. The FNAF, monsters and crew, and the set and everything. All of that is executed to a great degree. Really well done stuff. It's all practical. If there's CGI, you barely see it. And it's really really well done in that area. Very very solid. Um, I think the other issue too, it is rated PG-13, and to be honest, the FNAF, despite what does happen in FNAF, the amount of gore that does get shown isn't something that's really focused on. So I don't mind that the film isn't as gory as it could have been. However, I think a little more gore could have gone a long way. And I kind of wish it went there. I almost wish this movie was rated R a little bit, in all honesty, because I don't know. Like I feel like stuff like this appeals to, even though it was. I think what makes FNAF appealing for kids is because it is kind of more adultish, because it's like the thing where kids try to sneak in an R-rated movie. Kids want to see kid. It's just kind of one of those things. But here's the thing, though, too. I haven't read the books. I haven't watched the film theory stuff. I haven't watched barely any of that shit. So I'm not exactly knowledgeable in all that. But based on the movie itself, um, really the positives like sets, effects, the acting's great. Story is a little bit rough. I would have liked it if they maybe polished it up a little bit and made it a little bit more well-rounded, and especially with lore concerned, because and and I know it's PG-13, but I kind of wish it was a little bit more gory, a little bit, because it is a horror movie. And here's a minor thing too. I think the movie does struggle with tone sometimes, especially there's a part in the middle where it definitely feels like they just had a tonal break for a second. And yeah, I kind of wish that they made a little bit more. I don't know. I think the tone could have been maybe a tiny bit more even out. It's not terrible. They do a good job of it, but I do feel like there are times where they kind of have a hard time mixing in the catering between like the older fans and the younger fans. That's a big. I think that's one of the biggest challenges in the movie. In all honesty, more than anything, is trying to please everybody instead of focusing on like a specific demographic. And to be honest, it might have been better off if it did. I don't know. I mean, but overall though, I think this is a really solid movie. I do recommend watching. It's gonna be in theaters for a while, so. But yeah, overall, this is a really really decent movie. I mean, it's something new and fresh, and there's a lot of good stuff in it. Even if you're not the biggest FNAF fan in the world, I think this movie is a good jumping off point to kind of get you looking into things a little bit, because it does reveal enough to kind of give you an idea of how things work, but there's still a lot left to be answered that could be answered in future films, which I think they're probably gonna do, because I'm sure this movie's gonna make a lot of money, despite what critics think at 28%. And that's another side note too. I think 28% is a little bit low. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, maybe when I rewatch it, maybe I could see it, but I think that's a little harsh given this movie. I think it deserves a little bit better than that. Um, I can understand maybe 40s to 50s, just because like it could have used a little more polished up, but I think it's solid. I have no issue with this movie at all. I think it's a really good, solid film, and I'm curious what they do with it in the future with stuff. But after all that, though, that's going to do it for this specific video here, guys. Thanks for watching. In case you guys want to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, you didn't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab in our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.